Okay, let's talk about the eighth index law, the last of these index laws that we're looking at. When I'm talking about the eighth index law, there's a little bit of understanding that we need to have first. In maths, we often talk about operators and their inverse. For example, there's some really easy ones. Plus or addition is the inverse of subtraction. It's like the opposite sort of direction. Same as multiply and divide. Divide is the inverse of multiplication. So what is the inverse of squaring a number? Well, the inverse of squaring a number introduces a new symbol that you've probably seen before, and that is this, well, you probably know it as the square root sign. Now, that symbol is known as a radical, so we often refer to it as the square root sign because it's being used to square root a number, but there's other applications of this that we'll have a look at here as well. So let's have a look at this eighth index law, and here it is. If we are finding, in this instance, the square root of a to the power of 1, it really is equivalent to finding a fractional index of a, where the fraction is a half. So you might not be able to see where that 2 has disappeared to. Like you can see the 1, here's the 1 on our a, and there it is over there. The reality is, more than likely, you'd never even see that little 1. That little 1 would probably just not be drawn in. So if we've got the square root of a, it is equivalent to finding the base a to the half. That's the index, to the power of a half. It really is a sneaky, here's the 2 and here's the 1. So it's the squared root, that's what that 2 is representing that I just put in here, to the power of 1, which is the top of that fractional index. Oh, well, let's see it in action. We'll see what we can do with this. So if we have got something like this, we want to find the square root of 16 multiplied by x to the power of 2. Well, first thing we can do is separate those things that are being multiplied together. We can find the square root of 16 and we can multiply that by the square root of x to the power of 2. We know that the square root of 16 is 4, so we'll have 4 multiplied by, in brackets, x to the power of 2, and we know that that square root basically means that we're having it to the power of a half. So we'll put this to the power of a half here. We can then bring that down and open up those brackets, and we will have 4 being multiplied by x to the power of 2 multiplied by a half. 2 being multiplied by a half, well, 2 divided by 2, or 2 being multiplied by half is just going to be 1. So we'll have 4 multiplied by x to the power of 1, which is just really x. And that's our answer, 4x. So I said before that that radical sign can be used for other things as well, not just squared symbols. So here is an example of where it's being used as a cubed root. Okay, so again, we can follow the same process. I'm not going to speak you through this one, but here it is. You can pause it if you want to work your way through that. And we can actually then develop the general form of this index law. And here it is right here. There is the eighth index law. So we can have any number of radical, like we can have cubed root, we can have a fourth root, a fifth root, whatever. And that's the way that that eighth index law is written in its general form.